SOS, Serbisyo, Ora-Mismo, Sigurado. Programang tatalakay sa kapangyarihan ng serbisyo sibil. SOS, Serbisyo, Ora-Mismo, Sigurado. Programang hihimay sa kapangyarihan ng pamalang lokal. SOS, Serbisyo, Ora-Mismo, Sigurado. Programang maglalapit sa pamalan at mamamayan. SOS, Serbisyo, Ora-Mismo, Sigurado. Kikilos ang barangay para sa bayan, edukasyon, kalusugan, trapiko, basura at iba pa. SOS, Serbisyo, Ora-Mismo, Sigurado. Tatalakay sa mga problemang napapanahon, problemang hahanapan ng solusyon. At ngayon, ang inyong mga lingkod, De Leon Gomez, SOS, Serbisyo, Ora-Mismo, Sigurado. This program is supported by the National Kidney and Transplant Institute, the Philippine Red Cross, Parenting Foundation, and the Metro Manila Council.
Maraming salamat. Today is Thursday. Today we give thanks and give our utmost trust to family and friends who have helped us weather our private storms. We need to be thankful for the struggles we go through in life. Why these struggles make us stronger as long as we learn to cope with God's help. Indeed, they make us stronger, wiser, and humble. Lord God, we pray for the gifts of trust and hope for you to preserve to be made known. We ask for the grace to practice the prayers of waiting patiently. Today, as we tackle once more dapat Philippine health issues, we remember, celebrate, and believe that the future is in our hands with God's help. But first, we must believe. And so now, for the first part of our SOS, we have with us Dr. Ed Shalsita, who volunteered to be with us to talk about post-election discussion. Because here, in this effort, we continue to be unstoppable the Red Cross way. Tamang-tama. Welcome, Ed. Would you like to greet our listeners in SOS? Go ahead.
Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Magandang hapon po sa iyo, Cora. Good to see you again. And may I once again express our sincere condolences on the demise of your beloved sister.
Thank you very much. Sisimulan na natin, ano? May mga istorya na narinig tayo. Bakit nanalo ang nanalo? Bakit natalo yung natalo? Dahil ikaw I would say, tawag ko na sa'yo, political scientist. No? Kaya ako sinasabi, you've been through the political arena and then you decided not to continue in that political arena. So, may dahilan ka bakit ayaw mo na. May dahilan ka anong nakita mo nangyayari sa ating politika. So, let's begin there. What do you see that is happening to the politics in our country?
Well, surprise. We've had, by and large, I think, one of the fairest elections in my memory history, if I may call it that way. We've also had one of the fastest and most efficient canvassing that we saw 2 days ago at Congress. It was quite amazing. And, you know, in politics, we say, isang araw lang ang politika. After that, whoever wins, we rally around him, rally around the flag, and continue to work. No? And I think that's the attitude that we should all have. No? If there's anything I admire about the Americans, it's precisely that. No? Sa kanila, except for Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Pag tapos na, no? Sa ating mga Pilipino, when it's over, it's never over.
Yeah. Nagdaramdam.
Nararamdaman yung sakit. But I think the canvassing speaks for itself. The protagonists all came about saying we will not object to any of the certificates of canvass, so it went quite smoothly. I was quietly elated, very happy about the way it was done. Never my opinion about the result, but like I said, let's rally around the flag. We have a newly elected president, Ferdinand Marcos Jr. We have a newly elected vice president. We have senators that have been elected. So let's go on with it, no? And I must tell you, Cora, that I am also quite happy at the nominees that have been put forward. I know many of them personally, and they're very, very competent people, no? And if there's anything I admire about the choices, is that I don't think any one of them, no, maybe one or two are political, but by and large, they're not political at all. No? I know Fred Pascual to be very non-political, and I also know the NEDA chief.
Yeah.
What's his name again? I forgot, but I've worked with him in the Congress, and he's very, very non-political. No? And so is Manny Bonoan, who I know quite a distinguished
Saan ba si
personality.
Manny Bunong nilagay?
He's the nominee for Public Works, no? And,
Kapalit ni Roger Mercado.
yes, yes, and he is a very, very professional guy. When I was in Congress for 9 years, at first he was assistant director, then became undersecretary, and the next thing you know, he was secretary for a short while. No? He's very, very professional. Who else? Well, Fred Pascual, I know quite well. Boeing Remulla is a, you may not agree with him because he's a black and white person, but I think he has mellowed down considerably. I've heard him make some very conciliatory gestures. So I think we should give him a chance as well. He's very, very knowledgeable about the law, and knowing him personally, he's quite a very straightforward type. So sometimes to a fault, so to speak.
Yeah.
So let's see. Let's go on with the show.
Yeah.
Let's
Ako
see.
naman, ang thinking ko, like with Remulla, I hope he will dwell on the unfinished business of Menado Guevara. Kasi ang daming nakakulong sa Correctional Institution for Women and the Bureau of Prisons na dapat ma-release na. Tapos na yung kalang sentensya. Pero hinold ni Presidente at hinintay, nag-create siya ng committee headed by Menardo Guevara para determine kung sino yung re-release. Pero kailan pa natin, kung tapos na yung termino, hindi ba naman fair sa human rights ng mga tao? Sino ngayon ang magpupush nun? Ano? And this is why I'm glad you mentioned si Boying Remulla, because I knew the father when I was a regional director on DSWD. I hope we can make an appeal and maybe through you meet him and to look at that, and even without in other words the referral, just look at the situation.
Yes.
Kasi yung advocacy na yun para sa akin human rights din eh. Kasi if you finish not your prison term, bakit nakakulong ka pa hanggang ngayon? Diba?
That's right. In one of the interviews, he mentioned that as his priority, actually.
Yeah, that's
to
good.
review the backlog of cases to make sure that they're moving fast enough and to find out what's going on. And I was also surprised that he even mentioned that he's going to look immediately into the Laila de Lima cases in the light of the recantation of the witnesses. So I think it's a very, very good start. And he even said that some of the words that he said about, because she was asked about the question of red tagging, and he said that, well, he may have made some rash statements, but he will try to make amends without necessarily saying that he will not do it anymore. But he said that he just says things, some of them he has the supposedly corroborating papers, but he did say that maybe he should temper down a little bit. He did say that. So,
yung mga friends namin sa labor are happy with sila Guesma because he only did 3 years during the time ni Erap.
Yeah, I
And
also
of
know
course,
Benny.
there's a new department para kay Tutsople na talagang labor,
right.
ano naman, related ang problema ng OFW. Di ba?
Yes, that's right. So those two are really outstanding choices, Benny and Toots. Fred Pascual is an outstanding former president of UP. Now he's the president of the Management Association of the Philippines. He's also an independent corporation of some of the largest in the Philippines. So I thought it was an excellent choice.
Mhm.
And then who else pa ba recently?
Wala
I don't
pa
know.
sa health. Sa health, wala
Wala
pa
pa sa
yata.
health, wala pa. And then sa press secretary, I do not know this lady, but he's a lawyer and we have not had too many lawyers as press secretary. So let's see, something new.
Who
And
is
of course,
she? Do you know?
who's that in
Given.
Cruz Angeles, something like that.
No, I don't
So,
know.
we're also excitedly waiting for the Department of Foreign Affairs.
There is talk of ano.
You know, Cora, you and I know Ben Jocks, no?
Yeah.
Oh God, he's taking the motion, so to speak, to be the Secretary of Finance. So that's really an outstanding move by
May central bank. Pero tapos na yata siya sa central bank as governor.
Tapos na ba?
Baka naman tapos na, kaya okay na rin siya to move.
No, because he replaced the former central bank governor who passed away, di ba?
Yeah.
So he has only served 3 years, I think.
But during, naka 6 years na siguro siya during the time of Duterte. I don't know. Oo.
Because the central bank governorship is a 7-year term.
Yeah. So baka isang taon na lang.
Baka. But he's an outstanding choice.
Yeah.
Been DBM during the time of
Cory.
Yeah. And then he's been also DBM during the time of Erap. He was chairman of Pamantasang Lungsod ng Maynila. He was the chairman and Lenny was the president. So,
they're good friends.
Economist yan. He was also dean of the School of Economics yata sa UP. So, quite an outstanding choice.
Yeah.
So let's unite, as I said. Let's rally behind. It's really the institution, Cora, that we're protecting. No?
Yeah. Nag-join na si Sonia. Nag-travel na from faraway Makati to get to Quezon City.
Hi, hello, good afternoon, Cora.
Hello, Sonia.
Yeah, how are you? Nice to see you.
Well, nice to see you too. I'm now in the academy. I'm with Perpetual Health University. So, may I remind you, Sonia, that you were one of those that inspired me during the National Union of Students days.
Yeah, I know we were together there.
And then when I think it was you or Raul, I think was president of the NUS, and I was secretary general of the National Union of High School Students.
NUHS, kasama nila Sim Hernandez.
That's correct. I was with sila Mario Halandoni, sila Tito Zamora.
Yeah, Mario Halandoni, yeah.
That was 15.
Yes, that's right.
You were with St. Joseph, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, and I'm still teaching there until now in my old age.
Okay. I've had some real good friends there as well during those times.
Your image got lost when you saw me. Yeah.
I remember your students there, sila Cynthia Nolasco, sila Tess Naval.
Naval, yeah. They were my students.
Yes, Moira Ongpin, and then si Baby Bawa.
Baby Bawa, wow, yeah. Retired na si Baby.
That's right. That was 66, 67.
Those were the days.
Yes.
So you're back in academe. That's good.
is when I retired, I started to teach at PLM, and then from out of nowhere, my friend from the JC, Tony Tamay, who owns Perpetua, called me and offered me to be the dean of the graduate school. I hesitated, but then I tried it, and I'm
Like it.
enjoying my job extremely here, very much so.
Very good, very good. Congratulations.
And what keeps you busy now, Sonia? If I'm not...
Ay, nako, you'd be surprised what keeps me busy. Ayan, minsan nagko-anchor.
That's good.
Kaya nga sabi niya, baka hindi siya pwede. Sabi ko, hindi bale, sabihin mo na half an hour si Edsa, sabi niya, half an hour lang siya. Sabi ko, you come kasi yung guest natin nakasakit sa PhilHealth, we're trying to get Pag-ibig, pero si Delio Aceron is moving from Jensen yata to Davao. So we don't know whether between now and of course we still have 45 minutes. Baka makausap pa natin. Pero ang we were discussing about politics. Alam mo, today I attended the Friends of PGH na meeting. And somebody was saying, kasi I'm a member of the board there now, no? And somebody was saying na naubos daw ang mga appliances sa Ilocos. Kasi yumaman ng mga Ilocano buying all the appliances after the elections. In other words, tumaas ang economic value ng probinsya dahil ang taas ng ekonomiya, dahil naubos daw yung lahat ng mga mga appliances. That's the story. So I don't know naman. Sabi ko,
But me, when I passed by the headquarters of BBM, that's near Red Cross, di ba, in EDSA?
Yes, BBM. Daming
Ang
pila.
daming tao nakapila. What are they making pila for?
They asking for what is it for them, siyempre. Kasi marami namang mahirap eh. So, kahit na hindi mahirap, ipipila, kawawa naman ng mga mahirap kapag
What my driver said, ma'am, sinisingil nila yung bayad ng boto.
Yes. So.
Of course, that's not sure, no? But there were really lots of people lined up there.
But normally talaga, kasi I did run several times. During the election, people are frustrated because the politicians hire a lot of volunteers. Like they distribute and leaflet, watchers, lahat yung binibigyan siyempre na allowance. There's nothing wrong with that kasi legal naman yan. So there is an artificial demand that is created. Inflation goes up. For the next 3 months, we'll have inflation rate going up higher than usual. But then it goes back to the normal side. That's pretty normal.
Well, si Sonia ran a couple of times. Nagbigay ka ba sa mga tumulong, sa mga nagbigay ng kasi marami din naman na sasabihin nila, kaya natalo, walang pera, but they're good people. Marami nagsasabi, si Shell Jokno, nangihinayang sila. Parang ang reason palagi walang pera. Si Jibo Chudoro, sabi nila. Ako naman, baka pwedeng bigyan sila ng pagkakataon na, pero hindi pwede this year. Siyempre, mag-wait sila ng 1 year to get into positions of responsibility in government. Kapag may matira pa, baka naman maubos na ang posisyon. Kasi maraming kabak-kabak eh. Yung mga, si Ben Laguesma, 3 years siya kay ERAP, bumalik siya. Kaya ang iba naman, I think, tama din man, they're happy with the choices. Pero ang foreign affairs ang I think question. Kasi parang yung si Babe Romualdez yata is being eyed for that, no? Pero may career na binevet din doon. So we will wait and see kung they will have a career pa.
Let's also talk about Clarita, Professor Carlos.
Yes.
She was my professor in UP 1967 in political science, my course. Of course, she's a little bit senior now. I'm almost 72. She must be almost 80.
No, more. 70.
She was my professor in political science 101 and 114, I think. But it should be a good choice, I guess.
So you will have no qualms making Clarita Carlos Secretary of Foreign
No.
Affairs?
As I said, my attitude has always been elections are only one day. Let's rally around the flag and then let's give everybody a chance. Then after a few months, kung things do not meet our own expectations, then we start being constructively criticizing. That's has always been my attitude, even when I won 3 times as congressman. The first thing I would do is
Go
call
back.
up my opponents, have coffee with them, and say, pare, tapos na tayo, magsama naman tayo, baka naman pwede. No? So that has always been my attitude. No?
Mm. Ako naman, ang tanong ko will be, how long will you mourn? Kasi kung you are mourning, baka wala nang mangyari sa bayan natin. If that's all we're doing, mourning. But I don't know how we can follow. You've been to England, no? Yung shadow government,
Parliament po.
oo, yung bang parang meron kang grupo din na tinitingnan yung mga ginagawa ng government to see kung anong merong mali para wag nang lumalim ang kamalian. It is brought to the consciousness of the people. I don't know how it can be applied in the concept of shadow government. Ano sa palagay mo, Sonia? Kasi yung mga natalo, pwede silang shadow government.
Ako, magsabi ka ng shadow government dito, red flag ka.
Baka maging shadow ka. Wala ka ng body, shadow ka na lang.
Yeah, even if you tell people to be militant, to be vigilant, I don't think any government would want people watching over there, no, di ba? Because they always believe that they are doing the best for the best of the people and everything. So the moment they feel that you are telling them they are not doing right, wow, you're not getting into a clash with them. And you know, when you get into clashes here, you are actually red
At
tagged.
risk.
Oo.
At
Or
risk,
you
yeah.
get imprisoned like Laila, or you get out of your job like Chief Justice Sereno. So, you know, that's what they've done because they don't want anybody telling them that they are not doing right. I hope that Bongbong will not be like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope so too. He made a statement yesterday that really touched me, so to speak, when he said, "Pray for me. I need your help, and if I want my president. I want to be successful because I am successful. The country will do well, and if the country do well, everybody will be happy." That was quite humble of him to say that.
Yeah, but you know, I also remember Gloria Macapagal-Arroyo saying the same thing. I want to be a good president. I don't know if she was a good president if you will look back at it. So what she says does not match what she did.
Well, she already lost the speakership. Kasi she had
I don't think she really fought for it. Maybe
alam na niya siguro.
pinagbigyan-bigyan na lang yan.
Well, wala pang indication kung sino sa Department of Health, Department of Social Welfare, ang meron lang DepEd, 'di ba? So, wait and see tayo kung sino yung pipiliin niya. Hindi sa akin critical department.
Meron na sa Justice, 'di ba, si Remulla?
Yes, Remulla. At sinabi ko na
yung press secretary Trixie Angeles ba 'yon?
Yeah, I don't know.
yung babae, lawyer daw yon. Lawyer. At saka, Sonia, chinampion ko na yung problema sa correctional na natapos na yung mga terms ng kanilang conditions ng kanilang for prison term at saka sa Bilibid prisons, sana naman ma-address yun ni Remulla. And of course, with also itong artistang number 1, si number 1 na sa Senado.
Si Robin Padilla.
Di ba nakulong yon? Kaya lang siya forgiven by Duterte. Hindi naman siya through the pardon. So, yun ang nais kong bantayan because tayo naman nakabisita sa correctional, nakita natin na makatutulong naman na they can live normal lives kung nakaserve na sila ng kanilang sentensya. Di ba?
By the way, Cora, a little trivia. No? We're the only university that conducts classes inside the prison.
Yeah.
We have high
Sa
school, we have
Marikina.
college, we have high school and college going on, and every year we have a graduation exercise. This is a second chance. But the university only offers it to those with light sentences, not the ones.
Not the, yung life. Hindi
Yeah,
yung ano,
these are
yung
the
ano lang, yeah.
minor offenses, and there's a term for them. I forgot. There's a term that is given to them that allows them to move freely.
Parole. You're on parole.
Yun. Parang ganun. And we've had that for the last 10 years, more than 10 years now, almost 20 years now.
Because perpetual help is near Bilibid, di ba?
Yeah, we're quite near that place. And then I also have done a couple of graduate classes there for some of their superintendents. Quite an experience.
I hope na yung mga departments will strengthen the research departments para yung mga ginagawa nilang programa, may studies naman that will show was it effective, because they can be doing the same thing for 6 years and not knowing nakatulong ba, naging effective ba. Parang that has been put in the back burner. Bihira yung mga departamento that can be proud of the research department. Bihira. Ako, feeling ko lang bihira. They should be coming up with studies na supported by the universities for that matter. Parang sa Harvard, in a report of Harvard School of Medicine, may report sila kung ano yung studies. Parang baka you can spearhead that, Ed, sa pag-aralan kung ano yung mga programa ng gobyerno. Dahil nandiyan kayo sa prison, baka pwedeng pag-aralan how effective the programs in the Bureau of Prisons and also even correctional. Because linya nyo yun, nandun na kayo. Yun ang palagay ko, kulang na kulang yung research studies.
Is Perpetual Health already a university?
Yes, it's an autonomous university for the last.
And you have many branches already, di ba?
We have 9 branches. We have a total of 45,000 students. The largest is in Las Piñas, where I'm based. And here we have 15,000 students.
Wow, it's really a big university.
In the graduate school, when I started, we were 300. Now we're almost 3,000.
Wow,
many are foreign students. So we have a huge Indian population. Most of them are studying medicine.
Oh, wow.
Kasi mura.
Mura at saka merong limitation sa India yung nakakapasok kasi sa medical.
Yes, yeah.
They send students abroad, not only in the Philippines, but I think in the other for Western countries. But of course, we're much, much cheaper than Australia, New Zealand, and the United States. No? Many of them are studying here. And there's a Chinese ganon din. No? And this became even bigger but during the COVID, instead of contracting, we expanded because we started to offer online classes approved by the chef and the Foreign Ministry of China. So it was quite an expansion.
Your total student population of all the 9?
45,000.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, we have Binyang, we have Calamba, we have Molino, we have Pangasinan, we have in Capiz even. That's the newest. It's quite a huge university. We are already 48 years old. Founded by Tony Tamayo some 50 years ago.
So parang you're enlarging rather than kasi ang Holy Spirit nagsara. Maybe you can use the facilities. How will they transform?
Well, we have a huge campus in Las Piñas. This is 5 hectares, and Our campuses are large. There were few hectares in Molino, Calamba, Pangasinan.
Lalaki.
They're big. They're big ones.
Nanghihinayang ako sa sa building ng ng Holy Spirit. Dapat ang ano na diyan, another school.
Ang natural doon, ang Sambeda or even San Sebastian, where I came from. Because that's beside Sambeda, actually.
Or La Consolacion, Centro Escolar, yun ang mga malapit.
Yeah, exactly.
Pero ang natural yung Sambeda.
So, Sonia, you don't mind, you're still with St. Joseph's?
Teaching.
Yes, I'm not teaching online. I'm teaching online.
I had some very nice memories of St. Joseph's.
Naging actor ka ba doon sa
They
Kalandrama?
suffered a lot.
Baka naging artista si si Ed doon sa mga plays ninyo.
We were very active in the National Union of High School Students. Which was,
NUS, Raul was the president. I was the...
You may not remember, Sonia, but you and Raul were our, models, and you inspired us to create the NUHS because the NUS was already settled. So I think it was during Raul's time when the idea of creating the NUHS was done, and I was
during Raul's time. Correct.
Yeah. I was the first Secretary General of the NUHS at that time.
Alam mo, para sa akin, importante yung ganung organization because that's the thing that builds leadership.
Yes.
Pag hindi ka parang academic lang, wala nang social cohesion, tsaka civic responsibility, parang very weak ang education kapag hindi nakaroon.
The story of NUS, that was put up because it was supposed to be the political arm of SCA.
Yeah, Student Catholic Action.
Because Student Catholic Action had 5 aims, and one of them is political. And so the training for people who wants to get into politics is through NUS.
Yeah.
And we had
so many who are in NUS really got into the political field. One of the founders of NUS, Art Panganiban.
Si Art yung naging Chief Justice.
Then when I was active, Edgar Hobson was the president of NUS.
Yeah.
Sino?
Si Edgar Hobson.
He was the president of NUS. And then, of course, Raul was there all the time. And then we had this convention every year in Baguio.
Correct. Talaga. Ang galing ng NUS. Then, that's also where Raul practices parliamentary procedure.
Yes. And then at that time, our favorite speakers were Raul Manglapus, Manuel Manahan, yung mga medyo independent.
Kaya ang galing.
Ako, ang naiisip ko lang ngayon, dapat merong opportunity yung mga estudyante to learn their strengths. So parang find out how they can join politically na hindi katulad ng mga traditional. Para bang, I don't know, I just dream of that day na merong mga young people who will run for political office na not the non-traditional way because anak sila ng somebody, but because they have proven themselves in academe and in their workplace and in the community para to naman develop new leaders in many communities na, well, I guess the model is Vico Soto na naging mayor na pinalitan niya yung people who have been there for 25 years. But we don't know. He already won his second term. We don't know about the third term. Baka mawaylay din ang kanyang term.
I think
Go ahead. Baka you can run a school you can run a course on politics, yung bang parang how to win in politics or something like a strategies. Ano, Ed, sa school. Kasi that can be ano eh,
Once in a
leadership
while,
yan eh.
webinar. Once in a while, we do have webinars on strategic planning and things like
Yeah.
that.
How to
The last webinar we remember, right? Cora, you were one of the
Yes.
speakers.
I
Okay,
identify, di
what are
ba,
the qualities that we're looking for
leadership.
in a presidential and vice presidential candidate? We didn't speak of anyone in particular, but we were talking
Yeah.
about qualities.
Kaya nga, yung checklist na yun, we will have to prepare the young people for that, to see how they will fare in the checklist na yun of leadership. Kaya siguro you can offer that course para not now but 3 years from now who may want to run for political office. Parang strategic.
Maybe Sonia will remember the core group of the Party for Philippine Progress, PPP, at that time was made up of
Yes.
Raul Mangapos.
yeah, NUS people. Many of us were, at that time, I was in fourth year high school. And sila Raul and Sonia was second, third year college types like that. And then we were all there in Manila Hotel. I remember the launching. It looked like a high school reunion.
Si ano doon, si Badawi.
Where did you get your
One of those
funds?
also mga leaders.
Saan nyo kinuha ang pera for those activities ng mga estudyante? Sa kanya-kanya. KKB. Ganun ba?
That time, yeah. It was
Or they were supported by some companies, family
Sometimes
support. Kasi yun ang kailangan eh, na may suporta for leadership training.
well, a lot of things can be done with the electoral laws that are existing now. I'm not an expert in it, but I guess we can do a lot of improvement in the realm of election laws and things like that. Maybe that's one way we can do. One thing we can do. Let's look into that.
Sa pamantasan ng lungsod ng Maynila, together with Rafi Alunan and Carnabella, we did try to have a course on barangay leadership, yung mga gusto mag-barangay captain. We did that, but of course, na short-lived. Parang katulad ng sakit ng Pilipino, sa magaling sa simula, ayon na goals, ambition, pero nawawala midstream, wala na. Kasi nawala din yung mga tao na susubaybay. Kaya kailangan merong paniniwala na ito ang kailangan natin. Maybe in the next 6 years, meron dapat na mangyari na we will evolve new leaders na who may be, in fact, nakita ko maski yung mga military who retire at age 56, yung mayor ng Alabat was a military general. He was asked by the church to run for mayor in Alabat Island. And when we went there for the training program, siya ang mayor and he did very well. Dati walang land bank, naka-land bank, ibang mga facilities that because they were an island municipality, naitayo niya kasi alam niya kung ano kailangan ng bayan. Maybe yun ang dapat tingnan. Ano yung pwedeng gawin na mag-aral, anong pag-aralan ng bawat isa, anong klaseng gobyerno ang dapat magkaroon tayo na rooted sa community, yung mga taga-roon na talagang gusto nilang ma-improve ang bayan nila. Pwede kaya yun, Ed and Sonia? Sa inyo, for example, sa Bohol, o sa Bicol, ikaw, ano sa palagay mo?
Pwede naman siguro, but I don't know if, NUS was an outstanding organization during that. I don't know if it still exists, much less the NUHS, and there was the SCA, and there was also CMLI. So those four, we were always there.
CEG,
That's where we developed very
yung
close
mga editors
Yeah, the
College
Editors
Editors Guild. I remember that.
I don't know if these organizations are still existing because that gives you an idea what's happening all over the Philippines and you deal with high caliber student leaders at the time. And many of them you encounter later on in life. Like all of a sudden, Mario Alandore was assigned to PCDD and
Si
we are
Mario.
good friends in NUHS. You know, you
Pero
encounter.
yun ng mga nawala na yon, institution building na yon, yun ang dapat siguro ibalik because that's going to be a moral force. Kasi pag binabayaan na lang natin yun, nangyari noon, hindi naputol, pwedeng come back para but reinforce in the sense na looking forward to something that will happen. Kasi alam nila kung anong resultang gusto nating makita. Di ba? It's really political development.
I remember we also had this famous voice of democracy.
Yes.
Every year.
I remember favorite ko yan kasi natalo ako ni Joy Picasso, classmate ko. Kasi ang nagawa lang ng speech ko, asawa lang ng isang lawyer. Ang nagawa ng speech ni Joy Picasso, Secretary of Education. Wala akong pag-asa. Anyway.
Sino yung si Monson? Tina Monson was a voice of democracy.
Yes.
Winner from Malate Catholic School.
Correct. Then Ronnie Henares, after a while, became also.
Oo, kasi wanted yun eh. Na
I joined, but I did not win.
Schools.
I joined, but I did not win. But it was quite an experience.
Yeah. Ako din, pero sa Merinol lang. Meron lang kaming betting sa Merinol. Anyway.
So, active in NUHS was St. Joseph, Siena. That's where Oscar Orbos. I met Oscar and he eventually married became Rosita Sioso. And then Lorna Patao also was Siena College. We were contemporaries. So you encountered him later.
And Lorna was St. Mary's.
Ganun ba? But she was NUHS and NUS, no?
SCA. Yung UPSCA.
St. Mary's nga pala si Lorna.
UPSCA.
Yeah, UPSCA, SCA.
At kilala pa niya as Pataho.
Yes.
Ngayon, kapunan na siya.
Well, when I used to see her earlier, I said, is this Lorna Pataho?
Kapunan.
Yeah, Lorna Pataho.
Ako naman, fourth year, naging president ako ng Merinol Student Catholic Action, SCA. Doon kami sa Santa Isabel, nagkaroon ng seminar. I remember that.
Di ba si Carna Bele was Merinol? Remember
Yeah,
her?
but younger sa akin. Mga 3 years. Parang ano lang siya. When I came na grade 5, she was I think grade 2 or grade bata sa akin. But anyway, ang nakita ko ngayon, moving on natin for the next parang hope for the future. Ano yung gusto nating makita even during the time of BBM ngayon? Ano yung gusto nating makita that will change the face of, not just politics, but change the face of a future for our young people. Kasi sa akin, pag ang mga tao natin, ang hope lang nila maka-abroad, we have to change that eh. Kasi para bang walang nag-iisip kung what can they do for the country. Meron pa ba yun? Pwede pa ba yun? I don't know. I ask both of you na much younger than me. Parang ako, jaded na ako. Yes.
Well, I'd like to quote my dear friend Dick when he said, what this country needs is not a change of men, but a change in men. So a lot of that refers to the quality of the leadership that our country is choosing. While we all abide by the majority rule, certainly that's a basic tenet of democracy. Our leaders should inspire all colors, unite them into one color, and work towards the betterment. But at the same time, we should keep our democratic values, particularly freedom of speech and of the press, which are very important. So The only thing I can say, we should all together pray for the success of this present administration, because their success will be our success. But we must remain vigilant. That's our civic duty, so to speak.
Kaya nga, you're in a very good position as president of a university to dwell on that possibility.
I'm
Parang,
only the
at
dean.
least,
Don't promote me.
ha?
I'm only the
18,
dean of the.
yeah, but still a key person in the university.
Pero
Di
at the
ba?
same time, we're not getting any younger. No, I mean, we need new
New
faces.
blood. Yeah, yeah.
I'm 72, so oh my gosh, I won't be here forever. So right now we're making sure that we recruit younger people who are as committed to education as possible.
No, pero
And that's a very big challenge.
ang kailangan palitan yung idea na the only way I can improve my life is by going abroad.
Oh yeah, my
That's
God.
still the notion na yun.
Oh,
Lalo na sa mga mahirap. Magsiman. Pag nagsiman, you don't see the man. Kaya yung mga may asawa na siman, sabi ko, sige, magsisiman ng asawa mo, you don't see the man. Sabi ko gano'n. But anyway, yun ang the ills of our country today, because it has become very inviting to go abroad for work. Kami noon, remember, Sonia, we went abroad because to study and to go on
that's true.
tours. Hindi yung magtrabaho doon. Parang gano'n.
Yeah, I was also offered to work when I was with Xerox. They sent me to Xerox
Japan.
University.
Japan,
No, Xerox.
Xerox as well.
Xerox has a university of its own, Xerox
In
Corporation,
the US.
one of the largest corporations in the world.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
they have a Xerox University, and they sent me there to study. And they made all kinds of offers, but I didn't want to stay. Then the government also sent me to Georgetown to study special studies on international relations and all that. Somehow, studying and working abroad doesn't appeal to me somehow. I'd rather come home for the time.
You never fancied yourself to be an ambassador?
Well, for a while I did. For a while I did, but in the Philippines, unfortunately, it's very expensive to be an ambassador. No? If you don't have enough to spend on your
Spend your
own
money.
ambassador, you might get astray. No? So, wag na lang siguro. But yeah, I thought about it for a while, especially since I speak Spanish. So I wanted to explore that possibility in the South American region. But I made a wrong mistake by trying to run and become mayor of Parañaque, and I lost, unfortunately. So that changed my entire life. But hindsight is always 20/20 vision.
Hmm. O Sonia, ano naman ang ating future natin kasi we're in this Bible group and it is keeping us afloat once a month. We talk about how to be better citizens at the same time.
I don't mean to patronize Sonia, but Sonia and Raul did inspire a lot of people during the NUHS days. They were like, at that time, they were still a love team. No?
Para artista.
Parang gano'n. Sila yung Susan Roses, Ronnie po ng, ng student days namin. Then eventually, they got married. We were very happy about that, of course. But Sonia, just to let you know, you inspired many of us.
Thank you. I hope that,
Sonia, tama ba? Sonia Malasarte. That's
correct. That's, yeah. That's just like Lorna Pataho. I was Sonia Malasarte.
Sonia Malasarte.
Si Lorna also tried politics. Tried once. Maging senator. Didn't make it. One time.
Yeah.
Diba?
Anyway, for me, from the latest elections that happened, which really showed us that although we have become highly techy, uh, cheating could still happen in the techie way.
Yeah.
Imagine that there were people I knew, they were not yet voting, and they were already counting and analyzing all the votes that came in an hour, like already like how many millions of votes. And for me, that's even faster than the US. No? But anyway, learning from what has happened, I think the way to go is still education.
Yeah.
And although we already have a structure, that's the formal education, I think we should concentrate on the non-formal, where people don't have to go to school regularly. Alternative learning, I don't like to call it alternative, because when you say alternative,
Parang
I
less,
mean, it is like
Oo.
in lieu of something that's not there. I think the way to learn now is the informal way. First, let's make our people literate. Let them learn how to read. Read books, read and understand them, and read people. No? So that they can go on through life with their own curiosity and wonder. They will learn. They can go now. I mean, YouTube is a university.
Yeah.
Google is something that will give you any question you ask for. And everybody has a phone. And if we make the whole Philippines Wi-Fi connected,
Yeah.
then there is no need even for formal education.
Agree.
People can really learn on their own, create the jobs that they can do for themselves, like get into a business, know how to run the business, and have a life of peace and harmony, because your needs are well met, and you chosen not to be ignorant. I think education is still the way to go.
Yeah. Ako naman, I've always espoused yung barangganic approach sa delivery of services. Habang hindi nararamdaman sa barangay yung how to be healthy, yung services, we will always be dependent on national government to do things, which is very amorphous. Hindi naman magagawa yun eh. Pero tingnan natin at the barangay level, saan at kung pwedeng mag-eskwela ang mga barangays para to know how to do certain things. Even accountability ought to be taught para alam nilang hindi ka mangungupit, hindi ka magnanakaw sa pera ng gobyerno, even small amounts na kailangan. Integrity issue, madaling sabihin, ay naku, yung barangay captain na yan, o yung mga konsyel na yan, walang inaaprubahan hanggat meron silang share. That's a common knowledge. Parang common statement. I'm not saying totoo yun because I really don't know. Pero pag gano'n ang perception ng mga tao, para bang binabaliwala mo ang integrity tsaka ethical values ng mga nagra-run for political office.
Cora,
Yes.
Ang maganda diyan sa approach mo ng barangay, if it is well contained, it is monitored.
Yes.
The people in the barangay, if they are active and they are alive,
correct.
then they can monitor their own barangay officials. They can monitor the activities in the barangay. That means that barangay community is strong and can stand on its own. And if we multiply this kind of barangays all over the country, you can imagine how strong this nation will be. Diba?
Yung asawa ni Rene Sarmiento, si Lorraine, who used to be councilor, mayor ngayon sa Zambales. So sabi ko, bisitahin natin at tingnan natin how she can implement some of the things we're talking about na pwede nating ma-experiment niya sa kanyang lugar na that will create employment because people have skills that can ensure, sabi mo nga, yung education na through learning opportunities na meron lang silang computer, kung sa lahat ng barangay may makakapag-aral ng mga tao, parang walang hindi nakakapag-aral. Lahat covered. Tama. Diba? So try natin. O, final words na daw ako. Pero final words muna kayo. Ed, ikaw na una. Final words.
Also, I agree with the two of you that education is the key to our future. We must be more aggressive in education. We must expand the Wi-Fi facilities all over the Philippines. Our way of contributing to education is we're offering a certification program of public administration to all the barangay captains and kagawas from all over the Philippines. There is no degree required. If you want, you can enroll. We're offering a 50% discount on all of this. We're doing this through the various provinces and barangays. Hopefully, many of our barangay officials can avail of it because, sad to say, many of them
They
don't
don't.
know the
Yeah.
left of the right, so to speak, in public administration. This gives them an opportunity. At least yung basics man lang, budgeting, local leadership,
Yeah.
things like that. And so we'll see what happens to this. No? Now, if you want to pursue a master's degree, then it's a different story. You have to be at least a college graduate. And then to become a doctor in public health, you have to have a master's degree in PA. These are not very common courses, but these are rare courses. We're offering a certification program. Maybe at the right time we'll invite you and Sonia to be one of our lecturers with respect to public administration. That's all I can say, and thank you once again for inviting me.
Ano ha, basta meron topic na wala kami speaker, ikaw ang tatawagin namin kasi.
Anytime. Anytime. Kapag practice naman magsalita ulit, medyo nakakalimutan ko na mag-Tagalog. So, yes, gladly.
Sige. Sonia, buti nakahabol ka. Pinahabol kita eh.
Oo nga. Salamat, Ed, at nakadating ka. Imagine, naka-reconnect tayo sa ating kabataan. Those are still the same. It will not change. And that is what I'd like to bring forth, na that awareness of being virtuous and then sticking by our values, letting our moral compass guide us so that we are doing what is right for our country, for our God, for ourselves.
Ako lang, one word na lang, dapat yung mga values na yun, enduring. Kaya now and forever. Kaya I hope, thank you very much both of you for making this program still viable despite the absence of a person. Tayo na lang. But anyway, thank you very much. And see you tomorrow again. Huwag ka na mag-absent bukas, ha?
Bye-bye.
The views